What's up, everyone? DelVecchio here. There's been a ton of buzz about WordPress Gutenberg, which is a major update that WordPress has teased for over a year. It was available for a long time as a plugin, but it's starting to roll out as part of the WordPress 5.0 update. And you can read a little bit about it at wordpress.org/Gutenberg. That's where I am now. And they actually show you how it operates on this page as well. The main difference is how the editor looks. So the old post and page editor is going to look different. They wanted it to be more streamlined, especially for mobile devices. Gutenberg uses content-specific blocks. So you have blocks for headlines, text, images, galleries, embed. They got a bunch of different blocks, so we're going to go through them in a little bit. And the main motivation for this is that there's always been a discrepancy with how things look in the visual editor and how they look after they're published to the website. A lot depends on the theme you have installed, so they want to make the editing process a lot more visual, and you can see that here as we scroll down. So this is a block for text. Here we have a block, it looks like it just said an image gallery, and if you click on this you can change the width. So if we change it to full width, it'll go the full width of the screen. So this is just a few examples of how the editor changed, but we're going to go into the WordPress admin section to test it out. The backward compatibility should be pretty good, but I spent about 15 to 20 minutes going through everything and I'm still getting used to it, so I want to experiment a little bit here as I record the screencast, and hopefully it gives you a good understanding before you upgrade to WordPress 5.0, or if you did upgrade and were completely surprised when you saw the new editor. And one more thing, I'm going to put together a cheat sheet with everything you need to know about Gutenberg. That'll be in PDF form, so I'll include a link to that in the description and you can download after you watch this video. But let's jump right into it. I have a pretty bare bones installation of WordPress here that I just upgraded to WordPress 5.0. So this is the page that you get right after you upgrade. And you can see they show you here, say hello to the new editor. They give you a little bit of a background on the editor that we kind of just saw on the other page. And I think we're just going to jump right into it. So let's go into the post section. And we should see our default post that just gets put on here when you install WordPress, the Hello World post. And when we jump into here, you will see the new editor. So all of the old content on here is going to be within this classic editor block. So that's how they do the backwards compatibility. And on this website, the only thing I had on here was a gallery. So this is a gallery of all my own photos. I actually have another tutorial video creating that, although I may need to update it now with the Gutenberg being released. But if I click into here, you'll see that the old editor controls appear up here. So if you are not completely comfortable, you're going to want to do most of your editing in here. And if I pop over to this triple dot button, you can click to edit as HTML if you'd prefer to do that. And one thing you'll notice, or that I noticed here, is that anything in the old editor, it usually stripped away the paragraph tags within the HTML, and that just got automatically added. But within this classic editor block, the paragraph tags are in here. So with my other site, I had one small issue, and that was with some custom coded things where I had unique classes, and on some of those pages I had these additional paragraph tags in there that I had to go in and manually strip them out. So that's just one thing to note, but hopefully you don't run into any big issues. And I'll go back to the visual editor. So for this, let me see if I can maybe recreate it with a new block. So usually if I click out of this block here and hover, I should get a little plus button. This is the heading block. I'm looking for the plus button to add a block in between these two sections. And there it goes. So this is hopefully you realize that the first couple times you use this, you're gonna feel like an idiot, and it'll just become second nature. That's how everything is with technology. Anytime you get software updates. So let me put in a gallery block, and let me see if I can just create a gallery here. So I'll just select all these images, and this is pretty much the exact same thing that I did in the last tutorial in the classic editor. So we got the gallery loading in here. It looks like, I don't know why this last picture isn't in grid format. Maybe it's because of the sizing. I don't know exactly how they do the alignment or the grid of the image gallery. But let me update it and we'll take a look at the page. So once the post is updated, you got this whole bar up here, little green bar that shows us it's updated with the link. And we'll go over here and take a look at the two galleries. The one that we had before from the classic editor, which is all the way at the bottom. So you can see how the layout is a little bit different between the new gallery block and the old gallery. And I'm sure there might be something in the code that is causing this difference, but I like the way this looks. I think this looks nicer. So let's go back and just start playing around with some of these other blocks. So let me delete these two. And you can do that from here. Click the three buttons up here on your block and we'll remove it. Let me just update this page and let me create a new post because I want to keep this gallery in place. So let's go over to the posts. I probably could have just clicked that plus button up there, but we'll add a new post and I'll just call it test post. And on the right side of the page, this is where you have all your settings that you might be used to from the previous version. This is where you can check your document settings, and then over here is the block settings. So if you select one of these blocks, it'll show you the settings for the various blocks. And if we go back here, that's your document settings. It looks like this is just a standard paragraph block. Let me paste in some lorem ipsum text, the Latin filler text that you might be aware of if you're a developer or designer. And I have that pasted in. And I actually pasted in two paragraphs. It looks like they created the second block. So each block is one paragraph. At least when I pasted it in. I guess if I press the enter button a couple times, let's see if it creates this third block, and it did. So each one of these blocks represents one paragraph. I thought they might let you do multiple paragraphs within a block, but it doesn't look that way. So let me see if I could delete this. And I don't even know what I'm doing here. They're not letting me delete it, it looks like. So I don't know what's happening over here. Let me see if I can drag this up, move it up. And maybe I can delete it over here. Doesn't look like it. So I apparently have this block here. Don't know how to delete it. That's pretty fun. And let me add another block. So it looks like every time I'm in a block here, I gotta just click outside of that, and then if I scroll over, that's gonna make this plus sign appear when I hover over the middle of this area. So you can add the sections wherever you like. Let me add in an image. So we'll just do a single image. I already have a couple images uploaded here, obviously from the gallery. So let me select one of them. And our image settings are over on the right here. Looks like we can either have it align center. If we align right, let's see if it makes the content flow around it, and it looks like it does. And we'd probably just need to change the sizing, which we can do over here to get it to look correct with the width of our template. So let me publish this page and take a look. And in general, this is usually how I update WordPress anyway. I'll make minor changes, preview it, and you can see how that looks. Let me go back here. We'll add another block. And I guess here we go. I can choose the block that I like from this random section that got added when I added a couple paragraphs. Let me add a heading block. So we'll do this is a heading. And I can change this from H2, H3. But one thing that I noticed is you can go into any of these blocks and edit it as HTML as you would with the old editor. So if you like to do that manually, you can go in there and change the HTML around. and then go back to the visual. And now that I added the H5 tag, it's showing that it's unexpected or invalid content. So that's interesting. So it looks like they have a little bit more protection in here for messing up your content through code. And it looks like they just converted this to an HTML block now that I did that. So let me update this and see if it shows the actual code here or if it's going to show the heading. Because it looks like it's showing code. Okay. Now, so that it's custom code on the back end, but it's showing you visually here. Alright, so we'll add another block in here. Let's see what a quote looks like. So I'll copy in another quote that I have. And then this quote is from Drew Houston, who is the CEO of Dropbox. So they give you a little bit of quote style there. Let me update that and see if it looks the same on the published page. And it does. And the other thing I saw is a block called pull quote. Let me see if I can change that. It looks like they have a couple different styles here. The pull quote style actually looks even nicer. It centers it and makes it a little bit more prominent. So let me update and reload. So I kind of prefer the pull quote style to the regular quote style on here. And the other thing they have is separators. So it looks like I just moved that up. Let me move that back down. Click out of this box and I'll add a separator in here. So I believe that's under formatting. No, looks like layout elements. So we can add a separator, and if we click on the separator style, I'm clicking the wrong thing here. We're getting click happy. If I click on the separator style and go into the block, got to click it again. And for some reason it's not giving me this. It's like not letting me click on this. So this is super annoying. So there's definitely a little bit of functionality which they got to fix here. Here we go. I can change it from here. The block style. I can do short line, wide line, which goes the full width, or dots. And now that I have that selected, it's showing me the block settings over here, and I can also select those from this side. And with any of these, if you like to add custom CSS, you can do that and code in your own styles. That's really how I used to customize. I would always do CSS edits to my child theme. And I really didn't do much customization within the post editor. But thankfully, they have a lot of different styles built in here. And from what I've heard, it sounds like they're going to update Gutenberg, or not Gutenberg, but they're going to update the core software for WordPress again to make it not just easier to design your content, but also to build page styles. So they're pretty much trying to do what the other plugins and themes like Divi and Elementor do. They want to become a page builder. So let's add in another separator here. Change it to wide line. Update that, and you'll see that our quote stands out even more. And they have a couple other options in here. So let me add in a block above the separator. And under the layout elements, if you like to add white space, you can use the spacer element. That's pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not even going to worry about that. The more tag, that's the read more tag that you're used to, is to show an excerpt from your blog. This is a cool one, media and text. So this is a side-by-side element where you have part of it media, the other part of it text here. So let me select an image, and I'll add in content. And if I look at the settings over here, this is where you can change the size. And they also give you the option to do a drop cap. So you can see how that looks if you really want to style it or write almost like an article or like a featured magazine type of layout. Let's add another block here. And we will go with a button. So we can update our text. Looks like this is where we type in our URL. I'll just put in a hashtag to fill that space for now. And if we go over here with the settings, we can change the color of the button. Up here in the styles, you can change it to rounded, outline, or squared. Now it looks like these aren't working as well, or not changing the design that much. I may have it's possible that I have some custom code on the back end of this site that I'm unaware of. But let me update this. Actually, let me center this really quick. And we'll update and at least see how it looks on the published site. And you can see the other blocks that we added. And yeah, for some reason that's not showing as the correct color. It's showing as red. So I may have a custom style on here. I'm not 100% sure why that's not working. Let me jump into the CSS and see if I can figure it out. Otherwise, we'll just move on. But it looks like we're getting the background color from this WP block button CSS, the block button link. But we have this other bit of code. This class has vivid red background color. So for some reason, this is not working. I don't know if it's being overwritten by this. And that's what it looks like. So I'm not exactly sure why that's happening. I guess if you test this out and you get something similar, I'd like you to comment and let me know, because I'd imagine this is not going to work perfectly. I'm sure there's going to be certain conflicts either with your child theme CSS, the theme you use, the WordPress settings. Like I doubt this is going to be rolled out perfectly. Let me just move on here. We'll go to another element. So the next one I want to add are the embed elements. So you can embed various social media posts or content. So I have a couple links. I have a YouTube link and a Twitter link. And obviously if you want to go through these other outlets, you can find links that you can share: Spotify, Vimeo, SoundCloud. So let me paste in a YouTube link. And this is for one of my more popular videos, how to start your web design business. And it automatically embeds that in there. Looks like it automatically resizes for smaller devices. And this is a pretty simple block. There's really not much else to update. And then let me also add a block with the Twitter post that I have. I'll add it to the bottom here. And here's a link to one of my Twitter posts. We'll see how it looks. And there you go. So let's update that. We'll refresh our page and take a look at the bottom here. So these look good. So I'm not going to go into every single module here, but you can get a sense of how you're going to have to edit content and add content to your website and how it's going to look. But overall, you know, having just really been working with Gutenberg for the past day or two, I think I said, you know, I've been in here for probably less than a half hour in total time messing around with the new editor. And I like it. You know, there's definitely things that they're going to have to improve on, but overall I like it. And the only backwards compatibility issue that I saw, at least on one website that updated, was with custom code. So if you don't have custom code, I'm going to imagine that your content's going to look fine. If you do have any backwards compatibility issues or questions about Gutenberg, leave a comment. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You might want to click on the notifications because I'm going to be releasing a full build a website tutorial using Divi along with a new Gutenberg WordPress installation. So that should be released within the next couple of weeks. And if you want a quick cheat sheet just to go over some of the basics that we went through in this tutorial, go to my website. I'll include a link in the description below and at the end of this video where you can download that. Transitions like this sometimes are a little difficult to deal with, but I'm usually an advocate of just going full speed ahead, embracing the changes, and learning on the fly, because if you can learn it quicker than the next person, that's going to give you an advantage. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope to see you on the next video.